knows this. Tammy knows this, who I coach right now as well too. You get paid to do one thing in real estate. And the better that you do this one thing, the more money that you're going to get paid, period. Does anyone know what that one... I love you, man. Anyone know what that one thing is? What do you think that one thing is? Call. Okay. Yeah, here's what it is. You guys ready? Like, people go, oh, I get paid to connect with people. Oh, I get paid to be able to buy homes or help people buy homes, sell homes. No, it really comes down to one key thing. And the better you do this, the more money you're going to make. It's really simple. You ready? Here it is. Blah, 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 blah. Everyone say it with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Blah, blah, blah. Now do it sitting up in your chair with some energy right now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now do it with a big smile on your face. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, some of you are screaming, not the right thing, but what you get paid to do is you get paid to talk, period. And the better that you can communicate, the more money that you're going to make, period. Whether it's I'm talking to a buyer, I'm talking to a seller, or I'm talking to an agent that I'm looking to be able to recruit to my team, my organization, etc. And really, the success leave clues, guys, yes or no? 100%. Oh, I do not have the clicker. I would love to have the clicker. Do we know where the clicker is? Hello. I found the clicker. So here's my intentions. We're going to go through this as quickly as we possibly can here today. I want to share with you, I've spent the last 27 years studying the art and the science of influence, right? Because really when we talk about blah, 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 it's possible for you to blah, 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 and still not move your business forward. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Now, can you still, David, get some success in some business? The answer is yes. One of my mentors, I've had literally some of the best mentors on the planet. I spent my early 20s with a gentleman by the name of Mike Ferry. Does anyone know that name, Mike Ferry? All right. Mike is a beast, right? I mean, he is the godfather of real estate, and he is about 70, late 70s, early 80s, and there's still principles that he teaches that are very fundamental and very great and very sound that, you cannot deny. I went from, Mike Ferry to Mr. Keller, where I spent time with Keller for probably about 6 years, and Diana Kokoska and, that whole crew, and then spent time with 10 years helping Tom Ferry and his organization build his organization. Spent time with John Sheplack and Dan Beer over the course of the last couple of years, right? I've had some of the best, but what I can tell you is every single one of them have at the core great communication, right? And what I learned from Mike was this, is that, yeah, even a blind squirrel can find a nut every now and again, but you sure get tired digging, right, guys? Right? So what my goal is teach you the 8 laws of influence on how to use them, teach you how to create trust, respect, and rapport in today's digital world, right? The way that we create trust, the way we create respect, right? The way that we create rapport is different today in 2023 than it was 10 or 15 years ago. Do you guys realize that? It used to be that I would just have conversation, mirror and match, etc., which are still valuable. But so much of the decision-making process of whether a buyer or seller is going to use you or not is determined before you even open your mouth and have a conversation in today's world. They are searching you. They are looking at you. You are showing up. They are creating a story around you every single time that you show up or don't show up online. And we're going to dig into that. And I'm going to give you some things you could do so that when they call you, it's an easier yes. Would you guys like that? Yeah. Do me a favor. Turn to your partner and just give them a really good yes on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. No, I mean like when Harry met Sally, yes, for those of you that are old, right? Like, yes. Okay. And then last but not least, I'm going to give you my secret weapon. Okay, do you guys want the secret weapon, yes or no? Yes. There we go. There's a good yes. The secret weapon on what my clients are currently doing right now to generate more listings. And it's off of a group of people that they actually have, their past clients in their sphere. It's super simple. It's very easy, and it works. Where every 6.5 times you do this, you're going to get an appointment. Okay? I know my numbers. I keep track of it because numbers are the path. They're the language of business. Does it make sense, guys? Okay. So let's just start here. Can we agree that we are in a skill-based market right now where what you say, how you say it, the way you deliver your message, that it truly matters, okay? And that there are certain, and honestly, that there are some really, really poor agents in terms of their skills right now. Yes, sir. Is that Luigi? Is that you, dude? Oh my God, dude. So good to see you. You've lost a shit ton of weight, man, and you have kept it off. I didn't even recognize you. So a skill-based market means that you have to have an ability to know what to say, how to say it, how to be able to deliver it, how to do it effectively, right? And when you really break it down, this right here tells me agents suck as salespeople. That is last year's data. That is last year's number. that 2022 agent income average was $44,813. They're making on average $21 per hour. We are failing as an industry. And why is it? We are failing as an industry because people come in and they go, with that smile, with your, with the way you look, oh, you're going to make, but what they never said to you is, oh, by the way, look at me, you're going to have to work your ass off. For the first 2 years, you're a fucking startup company, right? You're going to have to actually put in, like Apple and all of these other companies, all this time, energy, and effort. And oh, by the way, you have to be a salesperson. And over the course of the last 2 to 3 years, you didn't have to do a lot of selling minus the last 6 months. I called it, a no-brainer market. You needed a very little brain. All that you needed to do was have an ability to show up, not say anything relatively too stupid, right? And then be able to actually get people under contract, okay? Now, I mean that with full, I don't want to be insulting to anyone, but I am going to tell you the truth. Is that fair enough? And we got completely weak as an industry from a sales perspective, okay? And then all of a sudden, people are like, I've had so many people calling me recently going, dude, who moved my cheese? Any of you guys had one of those who moved my cheese moments where you're like, wait, but I remember it was December or November, someone called me and goes, do you have a price reduction script? Right? It's the first time in 10 years I had to actually have someone. First of all, I'm like, price reduction. What is that? Oh, that's right. That's what thing that used to exist. Okay? So that right there is indicative of the fact of either A, the people aren't working enough, or B, the ones that are working enough don't have the right skills and effectiveness to be able to actually produce the results that they want. Now, that's what we get paid to do. Go back. Let the cat out of the bag. I'd like you to think for a second. Does success leave clues, my friends? Yes or no? Okay. All right. And are there some human beings that have been on this planet who are highly influential? And when I say highly influential, what I really mean is that they speak. Here's what I want you to think about. They speak and you want to listen. Right, Peter? Right? And when you listen, not only do you want to listen, but you believe what they say, because there are certain people who, when they speak, you want to listen. It's very entertaining, but you're like, your bullshit meter is going way over here on them. Do you have some people in your life like that? Where you're just like, oh, dude, very entertaining, but you're so full of shit, right? Okay? So they speak, you want to listen, and in addition to you wanting to listen, you want to you believe them, and you want to take action. Those are the three components when I think about someone who is highly influential. Do I want to listen to them? Do I believe them? And do I want to take action on what it is that they're actually saying or the conversation or dialogue that's taking place? I want you really quick right now, because I do want you writing notes. I'm going to give you a lot of really good stuff today, I promise, going quick. I want you to write down who are 2 or 3 historic figures, right? People that everyone in this room would know. Because when I ask this question, sometimes people go, my grandmother. And I'm like, well, no one knows your grandmother, so we can't actually duplicate your grandmother because no one knows her. But are there some historic figures on the planet, both living and passed away, that are influential based upon speak and we listen, speak and we believe them, speak and we want to take action, yes or no? Okay, I want you to do 2 things if you would, please. I want you to write down who they are, like 2 or 3 of them, and then I want you to write down what makes them so good. Because it's one thing to identify who they are, but if we want to rip off and duplicate and deploy, right, what they did and truncate our growth curve, then we have to be able to look at the skills or what it is, the characteristics and behaviors they had. Make sense, guys? So I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds right now. 30 seconds to write down who are they, what makes them so good. Who are they and what makes them so good? By the way, thank you guys as you're doing this. Keep writing, right? But I want to say thank you because I know it would be very easy to just be out there by the pool and enjoying whatever. And the fact that you're in this room and you're like devoting your time tells me, it proves something, Kim, that you guys are committed, that you guys are looking for that special edge. And I acknowledge that for you. So thank you guys very much. Okay? Yeah. Tom is clapping for you. So who are some of those individuals? Just give it to me really. This is going to be obviously as a breakout session. It's open dialogue. It's not going to be so much like me PowerPoint going. But tell me who are some of those individuals that you wrote down. Yeah, please, Bianca. Ooh. Give me one. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's unpack Tony Robbins really quick. Can we all agree? Hopefully everyone that's inside of this room recognizes the name Tony Robbins. And if you don't, what rock have you been under for the last 20 years? Tony Robbins, influential, yes or no? Yes. Okay, what makes him so influential? His energy, right? And you're going to start to see that some of these individuals have common characteristics and traits. And if you want to be able to be as effective as they are, then what you do is you just adopt those characteristics. That's what the greats do, right? They don't try and figure it out on their own. They look at people that have already produced those results, and then they simply duplicate the results by duplicating what is that person did. So we're going to say energy as a component. We're going to talk about that in a second. Who else? Yeah, please. Richard Branson. Love Richard Branson, right? Those of you that don't know Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin, what makes him so great?
He's always groundbreaking and doing something different.
Yeah.
Not abnormal.
So he's innovative, right? Okay, he's innovative. I love it. Good. Who else? Let's just go. Yeah.
Jesus and Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa is not Tony Robbins. Could you imagine her getting up, like she's obviously passed away, and putting her hands together and go, okay, let's go. Let's save the poor. Yes. No. But what she did is, what did Mother Teresa had? She had heart, compassion, empathy is what she had, right, guys? There was a high level of empathy that she had. Anybody else? Jim Rohn. I love Jim Rohn, right? JFK. Here are some of the ones I put up here, guys. Take a look. Martin Luther King. Influential, yes or no? Now, what I will ask you to do, because obviously now as people dig into individuals' lives, right, they get the man or the woman confused with the results that they produced. Make sense, guys? So when you look at these individuals, I want you to look at them from their level of influence. Martin Luther King, what made him so great? His passion. He was so passionate, right, guys? Okay? I have a dream. I listen to that speech, and I go, I want to go do something. Right? I can't help. I don't want to sit in my car anymore. JFK said, we choose to go to the moon. Do you realize when he did that speech down in Houston, Texas, and said we choose to go to the moon, NASA had no plans of going to the moon? And he stood up, he used his language to create reality in the same way that I'm going to teach you to do today. That your language can create reality that people step into that moves them forward. Oprah Winfrey. I haven't put Tom Ferry up there, one of my great old mentors, right? And how about this guy down here? Bill Clinton. Did he have influence? No, easy. Some of you are dated. You don't remember this. Bill Clinton stood up and freaking lied. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And then sure enough, guess what happened? He had sexual relations with that woman, and by all means and purposes, he should have been freaking wiped off the history books and all this other stuff, but because he had I don't agree with what he did, I don't agree with what he said, I don't agree with any of that, but what I want you guys to understand is, because of the way that he spoke, it gave him the different options and choices that other people wouldn't have had, that a normal person would have been freaking thrown in jail for what he did because he lied to Congress. Does that make sense, guys? It was, and what was it about him? Very charismatic, okay? But charisma, what I want you guys to understand, I want you to write this down. Charisma is a series of tools that human beings use. It's not something that you're born with. Influence is a series of tools that you adopt, that when you use them, you produce greater results. So I want to start with this whole breakdown of communication before we actually get into the 8 laws of influence. This is a talk that I normally do. It'll take about 2 hours, but I'm going to condense it down into about 30 minutes. Okay, guys? So I'm going to go quick, and obviously, if you have questions, I'll stay around later. This right here is from the studies of a gentleman by the name of Alfred Mehrabian, Mehrebian. He was a sociologist, still is alive, a sociologist and a psychologist that was at the University of California at Los Angeles. Prior to Mehrabian, people used to think that communication took place one way, and that was this. I spoke to Peter, Peter created meaning from the words I used, and that was it. What Mehrabian established in the mid-1980s, like 1982, 83, is he said, no, communication takes place, and this is important for you to understand, takes place when 3 different things come together. So write down, if you would, 7%, 38%, oh, that is a misprint. 7%, 38%, and 55%. I'm so proud of myself. That's the only mistake I had in my slides so far. 7%, 38%, and 55%. 7%, 38%, and 55%. This is how it's broken down. 7% next to it, write down, are the words I choose to use. They're the words that I use. The script, the dialogue, the conversation pattern, etc. Right? Do you need to have your words down? Did you guys hear Brent doing his script? Did you guys hear that? Did he have those words down? Yes, right? But see, now you could do that, and you record it, and you watch it, and you go, I'm going to write this down, and then you go use it, and you could poop the bed. Why? Because it doesn't stop with the words. There's another 93% that is the important part. But if you do not, and I want you to write this down, write down, if I don't have the words down, I can't focus on the other 93%. You guys see that? You feel it? That if you're busy going, what do I say next? Have any of you guys ever had that experience with a salesperson, right? Where you could tell they didn't really know what they were talking about, or they sounded unconfident. Did you want to stay in that conversation, that communication with them that long? The answer is definitively not. So you've got to get your words down. Write down 38%, and next to it, write down is the tone that you choose to use. Did Brent have a certain tone quality to how he delivered the conversation that he had? Yes. What would you say? How was he delivering his tone? Confident, conviction, passion, all of those words. Just like what we said. Oprah Winfrey, passionate, great listener. Martin Luther King. You're going to see the same things that they did, you do in your business, and will produce great results like they produced in the world as well too. Now 55% is going to be write down your body. I didn't know that Brent was going to role play, Luigi. I was like, this is rad that he's doing that. I'm recording it, put it on social media and stuff. And knowing that I had this breakout, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so perfect. Did Brent do things with his body when he was talking? Tell me what he did. What did he do with his body? He leaned in, right? He's got that. See, here's the deal. By the way, look at your partner right now. Give him a big smile. Look him up and down. Just look him up and down. And go, you got a great body, baby. You should use it more often. Just say that to the great body. Use that shit more often, all right? Now, here's the funny thing about your body, and I want you to write this down. And you've seen this happen. You've felt this occur. You've experienced this. Write down, my body will control my tonality. My body will control my tonality, and it will also control a key part of sales, which is your emotional state of mind. Right? Right now, if I said, take on the posture of being depressed, all of you would know what to do. Some of you wouldn't have too far to go based upon what I'm seeing in your body language, right? But you would slump over, whatever, etc. And if I said, what, you guys want to do a little experiment, and I'll show you how your body controls the way that you sound? You guys want to do this really quick? It'll take us 30 seconds. It'll prove it more than me telling you. Do me a favor. Slump over. Put a frown on your face. Act like you've got a phone next to you got to do it. If your partner's not doing it, I want you to punch them in the arm. I want you to put a frown on your face. I just want you to say, when do you plan on moving? How long have you lived at this address? Where did you move from? When do you plan on hanging up on me? Now notice, did I tell you sound depressed? Did I tell you sound down? Did I tell you lose your energy? The answer is no. Now stand up for me. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Smile on your face. Put your hands up like this, right? Now, by the way, I'm going to have you do some really, if you see weird things on my arms, it's not that I have AIDS, all right? I went to Puerto Vallarta and I got eaten up by mosquitoes. They just destroyed me. I had 176 mosquito bites on my body. So just want to be very clear on that. I'm very self-conscious of this, right? I was like a freaking buffet for these guys, man. Okay, smile on your face, all right? Just stretch out. Okay, keep that energy. Keep your shoulders back. Grab the phone. Really? Now I want you to say, when do you plan on moving? How long have you lived at this address? Where'd you move from? Did I tell you to change your tone? No. But did it change? Yes. All that you did was what? Yeah. Turn your partner and go, you use that smoking hot body of yours, baby. Okay, grab your seats. So you can see that in order for all of this to work, you have to have this word that is called congruency. Some of you are incongruent in your words and your tone and your body, and you're not producing the results that you want from the conversations or presentations that you have in your business. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Right? Some of you are saying it like this. Would you sign the contract, please? I hear this, right? When can we set an appointment? And you sound weak. And it isn't because you are weak, it is because you are unprepared or you haven't built the skill. And the beauty of that, Peter, is this, is Tom, if you own that, this is something I learned from one of my mentors, and I just want you to write down your first stage to transformation. You guys want to know the first stage to all transformation? Own your shit. And I want you to write it down in those 3 words. Own your shit. Which means don't look at yourself the way that it is that you want to be. I'm not going against what Brent said, right? What Michael said, visualize yourself, see yourself in the end outcome. I'm saying actually look at yourself and go, holy crap, man. Any of you guys ever recorded yourself prospecting? How's that? Right? Okay? So that's humbling, right? And when you own that, the great part is you can change it. If you don't own it, then it means that you can't change it, period. Okay. So here we go. Here's the 8 laws of influence. 8 laws of influence. Number 1, you always need to be prepared on knowing what to say. You've got to know your scripts and your dialogues. But Bill, coach, man, I don't like scripts. Everyone uses a canned presentation. Do you realize that? If I followed you around and you said you don't use scripts, I guarantee after 4 or 5 presentations, I'd be able to say, here's what you do, here's what you say. The problem is you got the wrong shit in your can. Don't you think about that? But see, for a lot of us, if we don't get the words down, if you don't practice, do you know how much Tom Brady made his last year? Anyone know how much he made his last year? It was like $47 million. Anyone know how much Cristiano Ronaldo actually earns? Like with his bonuses and everything else, he's making about $350 to $400 million a year. Serena Williams, her last year, high $50 million. You want to hear something interesting about them? Tom Brady spends 5 to 6 hours a day, or spent 5 to 6 hours a day in the gym, on the field, or watching film. Ronaldo, does he have a good body, yes or no? Yeah, do you guys even know who he is anymore? I'm like, come on now, okay? One of the greatest soccer players, football players of all time, right? 6 hours a day, 3 to 4 hours on the pitch, 2 to 3 hours in the gym, doing yoga and everything else. Serena Williams, when she wasn't on the tour, when she was practicing in off season, it was 5 to 6 hours. How many of you would love to get paid like a professional athlete gets paid? Raise your hand, say aye. Then you have to practice like a professional athlete practices. And it's the thing that goes out the damn window for most real estate agents, unfortunately, when they start to get a little bit of success, is they don't take the 30 minutes a day to be able to keep their skills sharp, to be able to stay on the edge, right? And they end up practicing on their clients instead of practicing with a role play partner. Do me a favor, turn to your partner and go, he's so talking to me right now. Because how many of you guys have had that happen where all of a sudden, I got some success, I'm doing great, I can let it go by. I got the chance, I was leading a seminar in Stockton, California for Hal Lertzma, right? Hal and Debbie Lertzma, years ago. I got the chance to meet Barry Bond's father, right? Now, whether you like Barry or not, and he's got a lot of controversy around him, et cetera, is it safe to say he was a great baseball player, yes or no? And I said, does Barry still practice, right? He said, yeah, but it's a different type of practice because what he's practicing isn't to build skills. He's practicing to stay sharp. So you're going to get to a point where your skills are so good that you don't have to actually build new ones. You just have to keep the ones that you have that's sharp. Otherwise, you become like the axe chopper story, which you all may have heard, about the guy that comes in and says, give me a job, right? I'll prove it to you. I'll cut wood for free for a day. And this dude outcuts everyone by 3 times. The foreman says, you're hired. And he goes, awesome, great, I got the job. He starts getting paid. And as time goes on, a week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks goes by, 4 weeks goes by. What happens is the amount of wood that he's chopping, the cords, become less and less and less. Finally, the foreman comes to him and says, what's going on? What's the problem? And the guy goes, I don't know. Come to think about it, I'm actually swinging the axe more. I'm spending more time, but I forgot to sharpen my axe. Got to stay sharp. So you got to get to a point where you can do this. Hi, thanks again for having me over. I'm excited about getting your home on the market and getting it sold. Do you mind if I take a quick look at your home? I wrote down 3 real important questions for you. Number 1, do you absolutely have to sell your home? Number 2, you want the price you're able to sell? Number 3, do you want me to handle the sale for you? At the end of my presentation tonight, one of 3 things will happen. Number 1, you'll have the opportunity to list your home with me, which I hope you do. Number 2, you decide not to list your home with me. Number 3, I'll decide not to take your listing. Number 3 is fine. Let's quickly take a moment and review the questions I asked you over the phone. You said you're moving to blank. You said you'd be there by blank. You weren't thinking about selling it yourself. You'd like to price your home at blank. Is that correct? Yeah. Now, there's only really 2 issues we have to look at tonight. Number 1 is your motivation to sell this home. And number 2 is the price that we set on your home. It's the only 2 issues. Do you know how buyers determine value? Buyers determine value by comparing your home to the features and benefits of the homes that recently sold or are currently on the market. Does that make sense? Bang. Do you know what that is? Does anyone know what that is? You know what that is. You've heard that many, many times. You know that for sure, right? That is the old listing presentation that I used to use when I sold real estate. I have not sold real estate in over 8 years because I do this, which is my passion right now, right? Which is getting the chance to get you guys along the path quicker. But I can still do that listing presentation. Why? Because my mentor, Mike Ferry, beat the crap out of me and said, I'm going to call you at 2 a.m. and if you don't have this down, then I'm going to kick you out of the family because I was married to his daughter. There were times I thought, I should forget that listing presentation, right? You learn something new all the time, right? But watch this. Would I ever present it that way? No, but I'd be prepared where I'm not having to think and I can put my focus on the client. Hi, thanks again for having me over. I'm really excited to actually get your home on the market and get it sold. Mind if we take a quick look at your home? Hey, listen, I wrote down 3 real important questions for you. Number 1 is, do you absolutely have to sell this home? Then I could deliver it without having to worry about what I'm going to say, where it's almost automatic, and I can focus on the connection that I have with the client. Does that make sense, guys? But if you aren't prepared, they feel it. There's a disconnect. There's an incongruency that exists, and that incongruency creates resistance, and that resistance has them say no to you, okay? So that's number 1, all right? Number 2 is, some of these I'll go quicker, some of these I'll go slower. So by the way, what's the solution here? You spend 30 minutes a day role-playing, guys. You spend 30 minutes a day role-playing your scripts, role-playing your dialogues, going through them. If you're new to a script, if you're new to a dialogue, right, then what you want to do is record that on your phone, listen to it, read it every single day, and find somebody to role-play with, right? Everyone that I coach, all of the great teams that I coach, every single one of them continues to practice their scripts and dialogue because what we get paid to do is talk. Here's number 2. You have to be compelling with your energy. Is Brent Gove energetic, yes or no? A little bit or a lot? A lot. Is it attractive, yes or no? Do you believe him more? When, like, look, he is authentic, transparent, but his energy is compelling. And I want you to write this down. Write down, energy is attractive. Energy is attractive. Energy is compelling. And it's intriguing as well, too. Isn't it, Rod? Hey, Rodney gets on the phone, and by the way, Rodney heard one of the great recruiters, right? You know, that is out there on the planet right now, just picking up the phone, prospecting every single day, having great dialogues. I hear him, I listen to him, I coach him, I role play with him, I get to hear it. The dude, as calm as he is right now, immediately when he gets on the phone, it's like a different thing. He goes into a different gear. He kicks in. I've seen you do it at a prospecting school, man, okay? You and who was the other guy that came with you all the time? Edward Hannaford, yeah. In the 90s, we were doing this stuff where they would come in and prospect, and I would listen to them, David. I think you came down even one time to Irvine. So guys, watch this. I'm really excited you guys are here. This is going to be an amazing breakout session. You guys are going to get a lot of value. We're going to talk about the 7 laws of influence. And on top of that, we're going to give you the secret weapon. You guys want the secret weapon, right? What just happened to you right there? No, honestly, what happened to your attention? What happened to your focus on me? What happened? You guys tell me. What did you experience right there? You got tired. Like, you started looking at your damn phones. You started thinking about, I wonder, is a margarita the right thing to have? Or is it Paloma? How do you even say that, right? Okay? But what I want you to recognize is I lost you, and I lost your attention. And it was the same words that I was using, but my energy was off. So what do you need to do to be able to change your energy? Well, to change your energy, it comes down to what you think, what you eat, what you put in your body. Are you exercising? All of these other pieces, but it's also a conscious decision. Okay? If you guys want to hack right now, how many of you guys would like to set more appointments with buyers, sellers, and agents for EXP and for your business? Raise your hand, say aye. Okay, write this down. This is very simple. Raise your desk and don't sit down when you're making your calls. Okay, raise your desk, don't sit down when you're making your calls. The minute dude, what the hell is up? Good to see you, man. Okay, it's like Bill Pipes, this is your life. You get to see all these people you haven't seen in forever. Here's the crazy thing. The minute you sit down, guess what you just lost? 55% of your body, 55% of the communication. boom, it's gone at that very minute. Why? Because now you're sitting here, eventually you're going to be over here, and that little experiment that we did of you leaning over, whatever, is how you end up sounding, and you wonder why you're not setting the results that you want, okay? So number 3, they fail because they fail to manage their emotional state. I normally do something here. I'm not going to do it with you guys because I don't have enough time, but here's what I would say. Change your state, change your body. Actually, no, we're going to do it. Screw it. We're going to do this. We're going to do this shit, okay? Are we jumping around? I have a saying, by the way, I've got new shirts that are coming out. This is one of my sayings for all my clients, all the people that have been in seminars with me, okay? Here it is. Ready? If I'm asking you to do some things that are weird, is that okay? Yes or no? If I ask you to do some things that are uncomfortable, is that also okay? Because here's my motto. I'd rather you be weird and rich than cool. I'd rather you be weird and rich than cool and poor any single damn day, right, guys? How many of you guys are down for a little weird and rich moment right now? Yes or no? Okay, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. All right. I think there's two yous, right? There's two yous, okay? There's two yous, right? There is the normal you that goes through your life every single day. And then there is this warrior you version. How many of you guys have ever felt that freaking warrior version of you, Derek? You know that one where you're like, you walk in, you know it's going to be a good day. Like when you still went to the office, which by the way, I would recommend, just like Brent said, get your ass in the office. Your income will go up 20 to 30% just by that as well too. But you ever have one of those days when you walk in the office and you see everyone around the water coolers and you're like, huh, losers, right? Go get my ass on the phone, right? And you know that version of you where you're just like, I'm going to kick some ass, I'm going to take some freaking names, and it's game on. Have you had that, yes or no? Yes. Have you had the opposite normal version of you, yes or no? Yes. Where you're just like, oh shit, here we go. Show me the normal, just sort of mediocre version. Just show me what you're doing with your body right now. Normal, mediocre. Show your partner, like, this is me, normal, mediocre. Mm-hmm. Would you work with that? Yeah. No. Now, watch this. I learned this from my buddy Tony Robbins, right? Okay? I love Tony, love what he teaches, spent time with him. If you want to change your emotional state, which by the way, that is one of the biggest reasons why salespeople fail on a regular basis, is they fail because they cannot manage their emotional state. One of my other buddies, a gentleman by the name of Darren Hardy. Darren used to own Success Magazine. Darren was a Remax owner, right, prior to that. An amazing man. What Darren said to me, when I asked him, I said, we're having dinner in San Diego. I said, Darren, you interview some of the best. Why is it that they're able to actually succeed the way that they succeed, you know, from the Elons to the Bransons? He says, well, it's really simple, Bill. Anyone can do the things they want to do on the days they want to do it. The extraordinary do the things they don't want to do on the days they don't want to do it, period. Now, the obvious question was, well, how? He said, well, it comes down to two things. Number one, they have a burning reason, a vision, like you've heard that here, that borders on an obsession. They want it so bad. How many of you guys really want it so bad? Raise your hand, say I. Turn your partner and go, give it to me, baby. Give this to me. I'm warming you up for the pool right now, right? So, hey, baby, what's going on? Sorry, I came from Pipe's breakout session, so. Now watch this. He said, number one, they have a burning passion. And then Robbins said to me, number two, they can control their emotional state because they use their body to be able to actually hack themselves and make them feel a certain way when they don't feel it. Make sense, guys? Now, is there a warrior version of you? Yes or no? Yes. Show me. Now, this is me normal, right? Me normal sleeps in. Me normal eats donuts. Me normal would probably drink a bunch of wine. Me normal, like, is just sort of whatever. But there's this warrior version of Pipes. I'm going to talk about myself in the third person. It's a warrior version of me right now that when I'm ready to go, like you'll see me go, yes! And it's a complete different thing. And I change my entire physiology. I use my physiology to change my mind, and it actually works from a scientific level to be able to flood my system with cortisol. You don't want to do this all the time, but it puts me in a fight or flight mode, which says it's effing game time, right? And if you can actually have that as a tool that you use to go, it's game time, then you can hack your system to actually perform on the days that you don't want to. And that'll be the difference between you doing it consistently and not, i.e. it being follow-up, i.e. it being prospecting. So guys, I want you on the count of three, show me the best warrior version of you. And by the way, you'd like, okay, it's 1:30 and I'll just do this for Bill, right? No. I want you to do this as if your life depends upon it, because for some of you, your business does right now. So here we go. On the count of three, give me a warrior. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Turn to your partner, give it to them. 1, 2, 3. Other partner over there. 1, 2, 3. One more time up here, me. 1, 2, 3. How you feeling right now, by the way? Do you feel that? I need a beer. Yeah. But do you feel the difference, guys? Yes or no? Okay, now watch. I didn't say get more excited, get more enthusiastic, let's go. I said, show me that, show me that. And what you did is bang, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. By the 3rd time, could you imagine if you didn't want to prospect, you just got to the phone, you went, ha, ha, ha. You picked up the phone. It'd be a great way to get a private office if you want one. I would tell you that. They're like, put them in the padded room over there with the phone, right? Okay. But notice how you feel right now. Which one of you, the one before I gave this to you or the one right now, is the highest probability to set an appointment, to make a call, or to close effectively for on a listing presentation? Which version? This one right here. So grab your seats. Keep that energy, grab your seats. Remember, weird and rich versus cool and poor, right guys? Okay. Control your personal psychology. I'm not going to talk about that one. There's enough of that that's going on. This is a big one. You guys ever heard of a gentleman by the name, or a book by the name of Never Split the Difference? And the author's name is Chris Voss. If you haven't read that book or listened to it, it actually is a listen. You can listen to that book. There'll be certain books that I recommend that you actually read. This is one you can listen to and actually get a lot of impact from. For those of you that don't know Chris Voss, have not read the book Never Split the Difference, he was and still is, the reigning #1 negotiator for the FBI. He had 19 hostage negotiations. This is like, we have your son. How many of you guys have kids? What you think about if this was your kid? We have your son, we have your daughter. If you don't give us $50 million, here we have a knife next to their head. What would you do? Some of you are like, well, it depends on which kid is it, right? No, all serious and joking aside, that was his job to show up every single day. Geez, Pete, man, we just want you to prospect to people you don't know. He had to deal with that. People who were like inside banks, and they had like 15, 20 hostages. That was his job. Now, I've had Chris come and speak for us two times. Spent a lot of time with him, got the chance to actually have lunch with him a couple of times. And it was after he had spoken at one of our big events, and I said to him, yo, Chris, man, like, level with me. What was your #1 tool for negotiations that you used? What was the #1? What did you do? What was your GOAT? You know how Michael Jordan, you guys remember Michael Jordan, the GOAT of all times? Michael Jordan had that fadeaway jump shot on the baseline that was just undefendable, right? I said, Chris, what was your go-to shot? What made you so good? And I was really incredibly surprised with the answer that he gave me. Anyone know what the answer was? Empathy. And I want you to write that down. That really what point number 5 is focus on your client's needs, not your own, is if you want to be highly influential, which I know you are because you're in this room, then you will develop a high level of empathy. Now, empathy isn't like, oh, I feel so sorry for them. Empathy is a desire to understand the situations that they're currently in to be able to support and assist them to move forward. Sympathy is, I feel sorry for you. Look, someone's home expires, I don't feel sorry for them, right? They're the one that chose the agent. There's the one that didn't, whatever, but I have empathy for the situation that they're in. Does that make sense, guys? Yep. Okay? So, and here's how you develop empathy. Now, I got to tell you, I was surprised that he said that because Chris he's a hard ass, right? Nice, kind, calm guy, but just a real hard ass. And I said, how do you develop empathy for someone you don't know? I mean, dude, you're calling killers. You're calling people that are holding people hostage. How did you do it? He goes, 4 questions. And here are the 4 questions that he asked. You guys ready? Question number 1. What do I like about this person? Question number 2. What do I appreciate or am grateful for this person? What do I like about this person? What do I appreciate and or am grateful for? Question number 3, how are we similar? And Luigi, question number 4, what is their problem and how can I solve it? What do I like? What do I appreciate? How are we similar? What is their problem and how can I solve it? Now, understand, I'll say it again, what do I like? What do I appreciate? How are we similar? What is their problem and how can I solve it? Understand that your mind will kick back in some cases when you ask that question. You're going to say, well, what do I like about them? I don't like anything. Then you have to play a game. Any of you guys ever tricked your mind before? Well, if I were to like something, what could I like? Right? If I were to make something up, what could I make up? You may have to do that, but what you're doing is, and I want you to write this down, write down, communication is nothing more than the transference of energy between two people. There's all types of scientific studies that have been done with mirror neurons. Has anyone heard of the study of mirror neurons in your brain? Right? Like, you ever had one of those moments where you're sitting with someone and they start saying what you were thinking? And then you say something and they go, oh, dude, you just took the words right out of my mouth. That is scientifically proven. They've actually done electrodes up to, notice, portions of the brain where they get two people together, they keep them together for a long period of time, and the same areas of the brain begin to fire off at the same time. It's not some woo-woo bullshit thing. It's actually like pure scientifically proven, right? And so if you go into, watch this whole empathy piece, you go in thinking, this lead's never gonna freaking do anything. They're such dumbasses. Why do they never listen to me? I cannot believe this is a total freaking waste of my time to even be calling them. Have any of you had ever that thought before with any lead that you've called in your life? Raise your hand, say aye. Do me a favor, get your damn partner's hand up in the air and make sure that they're gonna own their shit right now, okay? And does that show up in the way you communicate? Hell yes. Watch this. Oh. Married or single? Okay, good. Can you pretend to be single? Sure. It's a real estate conference. Okay, all right. No. No. Watch this. You're single, and I'm going to set you up with someone that I know. They're super nice. They're very kind, right? This person is an incredible man, right? Okay, they do X, Y, and you're going to love spending time with them. Is there an expectation that takes place in that? Yes or no? Will you, when that person shows up, you'll be looking for those things that I actually outlined, right, guys? Oh, I'm gonna set you up with someone. They're really cool, but I just want to prepare you. They cut you off all the time. They're sort of like a little bit boisterous, but I promise you're gonna have a great time. Okay? Your mind, your reticular activating system will start to look for and validate the things that it is and the hallucination that you have about the person that you're getting ready to call. So when you have empathy, right, you are actually relating to them in your similarities versus your differences, and human beings feel that and resistance disappears. Does that make total sense, guys? Yes. So watch this. The phone's ringing. Guess what I'm thinking every single time? What do I like about them? What do I appreciate about them? How are we similar? What is their problem? How can I solve it? It's enough time as the phone's ringing for me to be thinking that. Oh, I talked to this lead 4 days ago. Okay, they weren't going to do anything, but what do I like about them? I like that we've actually had a couple of really good conversations. What do I appreciate about them? I appreciate about the fact that they're being honest with me about where their time frame is, right, and the challenges that they're having. How are we similar? Gosh, you know what? I remember the first time I bought a house and they're first-time home buyers. That was a really challenging situation, and I drug my feet a little bit too. What is their problem and how can I solve it? I need to help them understand exactly why now is the best time in the market and why it is that the interest rates are lower. Boom. I do that, and they pick up the phone. I'm relating to them as a human being, not as a lead. I'm relating to them on our commonalities versus our differences. Make sense, guys? And it's super powerful. You guys want to have a fun experiment? Tonight at dinner, when you go to dinner, tonight at the pool, keep those questions in your head when you meet strangers. What do I like about them? What do I appreciate about them? What is their problem? How can I solve it? You know, like, how are we similar? What's that? It would work on your husband for sure, I guarantee you. What do I like about him? I don't know. If I were to make something up, don't do that to me, right? No. Okay, empathy. What do I like about the person? What do I appreciate about them? How are we similar? What is the problem? How can I solve it? Okay, this right here, dude, we're doing great on time. Awesome. We're going to get through all of this. Number 6, create massive connection with the client. This is where we get to talk about rapport building 2023, Derek. all the bowls that we've done together, right? It was like mirror and match them, listen to them. If they speak fast, you speak. You guys have heard that before. How many of you guys have heard, the training of Richard Bandler and John Grinder in neurolinguistic programming that says, if someone speaks fast, you speed up. Someone speaks slow, you slow down. If someone is angry, you match their energetic anger, right, for a little bit. Now, does that still work and is it still important? 100, Kim, yes. Kim just spent, by the way, I run a 12-week NLP program that we're launching again on April I think it's the 17th or somewhere around there. You just got done that. We spent 12 weeks with her mirroring and matching, right? How many people did you bring on to your organization? So you brought on 160, in those 12 weeks. How long was it? She brought on 20, she said 116 in the 12 weeks while she was practicing match their rate of speech, match their tonality, match their body language. She brought on 26 of her 116 over the course of that time. Is that exciting? Could you clap it up for her? I mean, that is just rad. Now, I'm not going to talk to you guys about that here today, even though we know people that are like each other have a tendency to like each other. I'm going to talk to you about another component that I think is equally, if not even more so important for you guys, and it is this. In this world that we live in today, by the way, why do people choose you over the competition? What do you think it is? Because we're better? No, there's people that are worse than you that get chosen. Luigi, okay. Write these words down. Number one, they have to trust you. They choose you because they experience trust from you. Is that safe? Okay, this whole know, like, trust thing, okay? There are people you know that you would not do business with. There are people you like that you would not do business with. Can you think about someone you really like? They're really cool, they're sort of fun, but you're like, dude, no way would I ever get in bed with them for business. Can you think of someone like that, yes or no? Okay, turn to your partner and go, don't worry, it's not you, right? So number one is they have to trust you. And how do you develop trust? I'm going to give you these three. You develop trust by, just write this down. It's really simple. Do the shit you said you're going to do in the time you're going to do it. Period. And if you can't, clean it up and get in communication that you're not going to be able to. That is the definition of integrity. To do what you said you're going to do in the time you're going to do it. And if you can't complete the task in the time that you said you're going to do it, get in communication and actually say, I'm sorry, I need a little bit more time, right? I know I was going to call you back, but I'm actually going to call you back in 2 days from today, not now. Period. If you ever called expireds, anyone here ever called, I know you have, called expired listings? You guys remember those things expired a long time ago in a galaxy far away when houses used to not sell, right? What is the big complaint that expireds have? Say it for me, Bill.
Never heard from their agent.
They listed my house. I never heard from the agent. The agent said they're going to do X, Y, and Z, but they never followed through. As an industry, it is why we are ranked by USA Today second to last in the perception of salespeople. Do you know who beats us every year, thank goodness? Used car salespeople, not even new car salespeople. It's the used car salespeople. Why? You guys have had it happen with agents that you're in negotiations with, haven't you guys? They said they're going to do something, don't follow through, etc. That is a break-in trust. Either you're building trust or you're breaking it down. You've got to trust them. Number two, write down, it is the word respect. There's got to be a level of respect. Why is it that Amanda has the people coming to her for coaching and for guidance and support? Because she has respect based upon her background. Now, how do you develop respect? Write down, you develop respect based upon your track record of success, your knowledge base. That's the biggie right there. The level of knowledge that you operate inside of. That's why I've coined that phrase, education-based, data-driven selling. That's what I teach. Right? Do I believe in still some old school tactics? Yeah, of course I do. And I'm not going to call them old school. I call them fundamental or foundational. But I also believe that the consumer today is much more elegant, much more educated, spends more time online. Our job is to educate them, let the data do the heavy lifting so that they can make an intelligent decision based upon their situation and move forward or not. Okay? How do I get someone to respect? I have to know inside and out my market data. Like I said, the statistics, what's going on, keeping current matters, what are the national trends, etc. And I need to show that to them, all right? So, show this to you. It has been established right now that 62% of the decision-making process of a consumer is made before they even talk to the salesperson. I would absolutely write that down. If you get freaking, Caesar, nothing else out of today, recognize that. That before they even talk to you, they're making up over half of their mind. 62% of the decision is already made. Luigi, this is so different than in our world when we grew up in a galaxy long time ago, far, far away, when there was no internet, when Jesus was a baby, right? Right? People weren't looking, they weren't searching, they weren't researching. You had the newspaper, but now everything is at the tips of the fingers. How you show up on social, what you're doing with your social, what are you educating? Are you using your platforms to educate? Because they're going to do the research on you. Let me ask you something. Any of you guys ever bought an appliance, a new refrigerator, a new, I don't know, give me a big purchase that you made that's over a couple $1,000 recently? Car. Did you do research on the car? How much time did you spend researching the car? A lot. More than 5 hours? 10 hours? 2 days. 2 days of researching. And that's a car that's $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. They're buying a house that's $800,000 and they're looking for someone to represent them. You don't think they're going to do their research. And if you don't show up with this online blueprint and your brand story. See, my goal is, when I saw this, Luigi, I got to tell you, like this is a couple of years ago, Tom, where I just went, you know what? Yes, I have to sell them when I'm in person, but I got to sell them while I'm not even there as well too, right? Because they're going to be researching me, and if they see me doing shots off someone's belly in Cabo, it may not be the best example of, but I was on fire. Yes, you were, and you're fired, right? Okay? So what do you need to do? Every single one of you has to have a Google business page. If you don't, you're not relevant. Make sense, guys? Yes. And you got to get your reviews on there, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but if you don't have that, get it. If you do have it, optimize it. Number 2, you need to optimize your Facebook. You need to make sure your brand looks congruent across Facebook, Instagram. You'll see it. If you go to my Instagram, Coach Pipes, you'll see that my Instagram looks similar to my Facebook, which looks similar to my LinkedIn, which looks similar to my Twitter, right? Why? Because I want to be able to represent. How do I create respect? I look the same across everything. There is no incongruency or inconsistency in how my brand shows up. Could you imagine if you went to one McDonald's, it looked different? Anyone ever seen the movie Founder? Okay, it's a movie worth watching if you haven't seen it, okay? It's about Ray Kroc, who was the founder of McDonald's. He was not the creator of McDonald's, but he founded the larger organization. Do you know the biggest challenge that McDonald's had at the very beginning as they were getting launched and they were starting to do their franchises? It was the inconsistency. One McDonald's was selling chicken, and Ray went in and went, we're not a chicken place. But our clients, nope, we're not a chicken place. Went to one place and they had lettuce and tomatoes and all. That's not how we do it. This is how we do it. See, the consumer feels comfortable, warm, and fuzzy when everything is consistent and congruent. It gives them a sense of respect, and I can trust how that person's showing up. Does that make sense? So LinkedIn, no matter what country you go into, it's McDonald's is the same. Yeah, same arches. Could you imagine if it was different arches, different colors, et cetera? You would have that consistency. Now, what do you do with it once you got this set up? Remember, 62% of the decision is being made before you even actually show up, before you even have the conversation. Now they're searching. How are you showing up on Instagram? How are you showing up on Google search, et cetera, YouTube? I'm going to give out as much, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on any of the other platforms. I am going to give out as much free content as I possibly can. 1 to 2 videos a week. Do me a favor really quick, guys. Look at your partner and with a really big smile say, you look smoking hot on camera, baby. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You're blushing. Why do you need to do this? Here's why I want to do this. You'll see me if you go to my Instagram. You'll see I'm doing about 2 to 3 videos a week right now, right? And what am I doing? I'm doing things that is more B2B. It's agent facing, right? Here's a common challenge that I notice agents are having. Here's a script that I know that you need to be using. I am giving for free. I am educating everyone that's out there to show myself as a expert that you can and respect. Make sense, guys? So they watch more of those videos. Now, what do? Now, I got to give a big shout out to my main man, Mr. Rodney Hurd over here, because we almost got in a fist fight on a coaching call, man. So you were present to it, right? I asked him to start doing videos, and then I made the mistake of saying you should bring someone in to help you make those videos. Holy shit, dude. It was one of the best coaching calls I've ever had, right? So, and Rodney, God bless him, embraced it. And he started doing video. And he hated it. He said it took me 10 times. How many times you shoot your first video, dude? 30 to 40 times, right? Okay. And here's someone that is super personable. I mean, like, honestly, you get a chance to spend some time with him, love to be around him, but it just had this, like, resistance to being on camera. And he did the first one, and he's like, okay. And it wasn't bad, right? There wasn't a lot that I gave you coaching on except for smile, look at the camera, and a couple of other things, right? And then he got a little bit better, and he got a little bit better, and he got a little bit better, and he got a little bit better. See, the shitty video that he shot is better than the perfect one that you don't even have in the can, right? And by the way, what happened 2 weeks ago, dude? Stand up really quick here. Actually, can we get that on? Everyone say, what's up, Rod? No, give it to him. Say, what's up, Rod?
What's going on?
So what happened, man?
So one of my videos went viral. I had something like 3,700 views, and then I had a couple people call for listings and stuff. So
how many listings do you guys take from people that are reaching out that you're like, I don't really talk to them for a long time?
Yeah, so we've got 3 in the last couple weeks. And
Yeah.
People were reaching out. And then I actually had a couple people reach out to me about EXP. So
just from watching the videos?
Watching videos, yeah.
Okay. Everyone, do me a favor. Say, Rodney, you're a badass on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Rodney, you are a badass. I'm so proud of him, like, honestly. Right? So, guys, how do you determine your content that you're going to put out? Really simple. What questions are you getting over and over again from your buyers? What are the 3 or 4 questions that you're getting over and over again? What are the questions you're getting over and over again about your sellers? Some of this will actually be what is called evergreen. You guys know what evergreen content is? It means I shoot it once and it stays forever, right? Okay? Because it lasts. It doesn't change. Will you cut your commission conversation is the same now as it was 25, 30 years ago, okay? But what's going on with interest rates is not an evergreen. It's one that I have to shoot on a regular basis. So I'd look at buyer tips, seller tips, okay? Frequently asked questions that I'm getting. Myths about real estate as well, too. Like, why going with a discount agent can end up costing you tens of thousands of dollars in the long run, okay? Why selling yourself right now will actually end up working against you, not for you. Right? Those are myths, common myths that I want to use. And on top of all that, here's the key. Write down every month, first week of the month, I want to be able to go to your Instagram, go to your social media, and I want to see a 3 to 4 minute market update video. That right there, if you did nothing else, all the rest of this is like bonus, right? But if you did nothing else except for every month, I'm going to shoot a market update video. I'm going to and then 2 weeks later, I'm going to get with my lender and interview him or her and say, can we talk about what's going on with interest rates? If you did those 2 things, would you have more respect from the audience, from your community, from the people, the buyers and sellers? 100%. Okay? And it's very simple. By the way, my good buddy Kyle Whistle, right? For those of you that know Kyle, love the dude to death. Big shout out to him. If you Google Kyle Whistle, WHISSEL, how to create a market update video, he's got a 35-minute video that will walk you through exactly how to do it. And then you've seen it. Yeah. All you have to do is follow his lead of what it is that he laid it out, okay? And I will tell you, you're going to hate your first one. It's going to get better, and then you're going to move forward, right? And then, like, I look at some of my first videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, right? I can't believe, and I want to take them down, but I don't, because they're a representation of where I came from, right? Make sense, guys? So now all of a sudden they trust you, they respect you, they see the knowledge base. You know, you show up, how much easier is your job to work with them? How much more likely are they to answer the phone when they start to see this? Are you guys seeing how this all comes together, I hope? Yes? Beautiful. And then you as the market authority, market updates, lending updates, commerce spotlights, local leaders, etc. So you guys will get these slides. By the way, if you want to dig into any type of, you guys are going to get these slides. So, okay? If you want to dig into a little bit more advanced sort of selling styles, Versatile Selling is a great book by Larry Wilson. I love him to death. All right, absolutely fantastic. What's that? Oh, nice. Okay, so right there, and whoops. And then we'll go listen, understand, not to respond. I'll jump over that. I want to give this to you in the last couple of minutes. Sound good, guys? Can I steal you for 2 more minutes? Did you guys get some good stuff so far? Here's going to be the hardest part of my presentation. You choosing what you want to tackle. Like, honestly, because there's a lot that you got. Should I work on my empathy? Here's what I will tell you. Before I go into this last little strategy, choose one. Become really good at that one for the next 30 days or 3 weeks, then add something new. Don't try to take everything on. And this isn't just about this breakout session. This is about any event that you go to that Brent does or that you're at from here on to the rest of the end of your life, which is when you go, what's the one thing I'm going to implement? Because I've led seminars, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and probably 500 to 600,000 people have been in seminars with me. And the main thing that I see is people try to take on too much. They do it for a week or two, and then all of a sudden, within 6 weeks, they're back to doing their same old shit because they didn't actually chunk it down to one thing, okay? I'd rather you do one, get it down, and then move on to the next one. This right here is my favorite, okay? So Zillow is not the devil. Zillow are a bunch of really smart men and women. Rich, the owner of the company, is brilliant. He basically single-handedly put the travel industry out of business. You guys remember when you used to actually need to call a travel agent to book you for? When was the last time anyone called a travel agent? Does anyone remember that though? Yeah, like how many of you guys are us old farts that are inside this room right now? The millennials are like, what is he talking about? Do you see the picture of the millennials trying to use a rotary phone? Did you see this? They're like, how does this work, right? Okay, here's why I want to talk about Zillow. Zillow right now has, what is the total number? I forget the number. They have 117 million people going to their site, visitors per month. Close to 1 billion. You guys realize this? Is a ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous number. Do you know why they are all going there? Why 80% of them are going there? They're not looking at houses. They're not looking for agents. They're looking for their home evaluation. How many times do you think a normal person goes into Zillow for a home evaluation on a monthly basis? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Now, look, if we know this and Zillow is aware of this, and by the way, Zillow's marketing budget, I just want you to write this down. They're spending $1,500 every single year on your business. That's their marketing budget. That's how much they're spending per agent is $1,500 basically, and they're operating at a loss because of the fact that they are playing, as Brent said, the long game, right? Now listen, I don't think Zillow is the devil. I know Spencer Raskoff, who is the ex-CEO. I'm good friends with Greg Schwartz. Both of them have broken away, have started their own companies. They're being very successful. I mean, these are Harvard MBA type individuals. Do you think they know something we may not be thinking about and think about it in a different manner? The answer is definitively yes. We know clients want to know what their house is worth. I don't want my clients anywhere near Zillow. The minute that they go to Zillow, they are now in this multi-million, billion-dollar marketing campaign that Zillow has with one thing in mind, which is take your past clients away from you, be able, and look, don't hate them. They're just playing the game smarter and better. Agents are lazy. 82% of clients said they would work with their agent again, and only 12% actually do. Listen to what I just said. 82% of clients, buyers said, I loved my agent. Aaron was rad. It was incredible. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to transacting, only 12% do. Why is that? Because we suck as an industry at working our past clients and working the sell after the deal has taken place. Do me a favor and turn to your partner and go, he may be talking to you again, right? How many of you can recognize a little bit of that for yourself? Okay? Well, watch this. If you aren't reaching out to your clients anywhere from 45 to 52 times per year with direct mail marketing, email marketing campaigns, videos that are going out, events that you're doing and calls that you're making, you're not doing your job. And I may have pissed some of you off, but I'd rather piss you off and get mad at me than get mad at losing the deal to Zillow. So if we know that that's going to take the place, then what should we do? If we know that they're going there, I created this. Why do they go to Zillow, not you, for their home evaluation? Why do you think it is? Because they don't know that we'll do it. They think of us if we're going to buy or sell. But we're not positioning ourselves as the broker of knowledge for them to come to, and it's convenient for them to go to Zillow, even though it's inaccurate. So this is how this works. I tested this, by the way. I've had multiple tests on this. I did it first where we would just simply, remember this? I've worked with Tammy for years, and she's one of my beta tests. So Tammy and I first started, I had this old beta test group, and we said, well, we'll just send a postcard out that says, if you want to past clients, right, this is to your past clients, if you want the evaluation of your home, we'd be more than happy to do it. Please reach out to us. We sent those postcards out. Guess what we got? Nada. And I said, that didn't work. Now, I believe in this in business, right? And remember I told you my coaching is based upon I'm only going to give you proven tactics, right? That was Tammy and I and Tom Toole and a whole bunch of other ones. And I'm like, we're beta testing this, guys. I don't know how this is going to work. And so we tested it. Didn't work at the level that we wanted to. So I said, let's change it. And so we tested it, A, B, T, always be testing, because I knew that something was there. We just hadn't figured it out because Zillow was already doing something like this. So here's how this works. Easy CMA, or you can call it this, CMA a day. I like CMA a day better. Every single day you're going to take one past client, preferably someone that bought 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. Why? Because they've had great upward appreciation in the value of their property. Make sense, guys? Okay? And I'm going to send them the CMA. Simple one page, 2-page CMA. Doesn't need to be the super complex one. That's a waste of time, right? I'm going to email it out to them, and I'm going to give you all the email today as well, too, okay? Once I send the email, and you'll see here that the email, really simple. Hello, Bob. Hope this email finds you and the family well. I want to reach out with some amazing news about your home and how much it still is appreciated. Still, this is made new for this market. Because people think their property has done what? Gone backwards dramatically, but from the time that they bought it, it still has gone forward, especially those individuals that bought 2 or 3 years ago. I hope this email finds you and the family well. I wanted to reach out with you with some amazing news about your home and how much it has appreciated in value. As you may know, home prices in your area have increased in the last year by blank %, even with the market normalization. Now, if they have not appreciated in the last year, then you say have still appreciated in the last 2 years. Because we know there's been appreciation in the last 2 years. You got to sort of control that framework a little bit. Makes sense, guys? So you'll need to massage that depending upon your market, okay? To keep you informed, I prepared a market analysis of your home to show you just how much your home has appreciated in value. I know you're going to be surprised when you look at the numbers. I'll call you in the next 24 hours to answer any questions that you might have. Feel free to call me right away if you'd like to discuss it sooner. I look forward to speaking with you, Sally. Now, the subject line for that text, for that email, guess what it is? Best email of the day, I promise. So you put set the hook, pull them in. When they look at that, they see that their home has not depreciated as much as they thought or has appreciated at some level or another. I've got their interest, right? Now, once I send that email out, as soon as the email goes out, guess what I do? Wherever my phone is, let's pretend that this is my phone. Hey, Tom, it's Bill Pipes over here with Banana Real Estate. I hope you're doing fantastic. Yo, brother, I just put in an email for you. I think you're really going to love it. It's about your house, right? And how much it's appreciated in value. I think you're going to be surprised. I know you get a lot of emails. This is one you're absolutely going to want to look at. I'll talk to you in the next 24 hours. I promise to call you then. Bang. Video text. Makes sense? Again, turn to your partner and go, smoking hot on camera. Just say that to them, right? Now, by the way, can you do it with a normal text? The answer is yes, but it's not as effective. The video text always works better, right? So you send the video text, but if you're going to throw the baby Peter out with the bathwater and not do it at all because you don't want to do video, then just do a normal text message, right? Fair enough, guys? I'm more committed to you using the process than having to have it as fully optimized. Then I'm going to call them within 24 hours to follow up in the email, and then I'll call for 3 days, leaving a message every single time. Remember, this is designed to use with people that you have worked with. They're your past clients, right? Okay, well, I don't have any past clients. This probably wouldn't work, but you could use it with your sphere. Do you know people who own a house, right? If you know people who own a house and you didn't represent them, you could still use that for your aunt, your uncle, your whatever, okay? Cool. Then when I call them, this is critical. It's a service call, not a sales call. This is a service call, not a sales call. Hey, Tom, it's Bill. How you doing, man? Oh, Bill, I'm good. Hey, I'm following up with you like I said I would regarding the last email I sent. By the way, do not change this script. Use it exactly as it is written. When I say I'm calling you back like I said I would, what did I just hit? Which one of the three did I just hit with it? Trust. Hey, I'm doing the shit I said I was going to do. I'm using my language to actually make sure that they can see that focus. Hey, I'm following up with you regarding the email I sent. Have you had the chance to review it? Those little smiley faces and arrows down represent what I want you to do with your tonality. I want you to smile, right, when you're talking to them at the beginning. The arrow down is I want you to karate chop. That creates a downswing in your voice. It sets me up as an authority. So I won't get a lot into that, but just know that's what those mean. Have you had a chance to, watch this. Have you had a chance to review it? How does that sound? Let me do it again. Hey, when I watch this, I'll do everything else the right way and then listen to what happens when I do that one line and how it knocks everything out. Hey, Luigi, it's Bill Pipes. How are you? Yep, this is Luigi, by the way, unless your name is Luigi. Well, Luigi, I'm following up with you like I said I would regarding the email I sent. Have you had a chance to review it? How did that sound? Weak, questionable. Should I have? Should I not have? Oh my gosh, like what's going on? Are you confident? Are you not confident? Are you going to tell me something I don't want to hear? It creates resistance. Hey, Luigi, it's Bill Pipes. How you doing, man? Good, Luigi, I'm just giving you a call back just like I said I would. I sent that email out that has the value of your home. Have you had a chance to review it? Oh, did you hear the difference, guys? Little karate chop down changes my tone. It's called a downswing in tonality and keeps me in control. Now, I'm just curious. Now I go, what'd you think about how much your home has appreciated in value, since you purchased it? Notice I'm not saying in the last year. Since you purchased it, in most cases, they're going to have appreciation. Wow, you did a great job. It's a great investment. Now I'm going to say, Luigi, right? I'm just curious, what are your plans with your home for the next 2 to 3 years? Am I saying, do you plan on selling? The answer is no. Say, Luigi, what are your plans with the home for the next 2 to 3 years? Oh, Bill, we're going to stay here. We're super comfortable. Guess what? I'm done with the call at that point. You realize that? Luigi, do you have any questions about the market, anything else? My job is not to convince them to sell their house, their past clients. My job is to inform them, educate them so that they stay off Zillow, they come to me, and I provided value and built the relationship. They have no plans of selling. Well, I'm sure you refinanced and took advantage of the rates. That's my way of, if for some reason they're part of the 20% that did not refinance, because 80% of people are below 4% interest rates. They're part of that 80 or 20%. I'm at least seeing if there's something that I can do, especially as rates begin to come down. We're almost done. And I say, hey, Luigi, what is that crazy price that you would consider selling? What is that crazy price that you would consider selling? We don't need a role play, right? And most people have a number. Do you realize that? I had promised my daughter, Sophia, like I'm a single dad, girl dad. And I fucking love it. Excuse my language. Like, I absolutely love being my daughter's, like, whatever. She's going to Lake Powell. She's going to be gone for 8 days. She was loving on me. She's 14 years old. We just got back from Mexico, right? And I would never break my promise to my daughter. My daughter came to me when I got divorced a couple of years ago and said, Dad, please don't ever sell the house. And I'm like, baby, I won't ever sell the house. then someone made an offer for an exorbitant sum. And I said, Sophia, guess what? Now the price wasn't where I needed the price to be, but was there a price in my mind that I could go to Sophia and say, hey, guess what, little sister, we just got $2.5 million for this house. We're frick out of here, man. I'll get you something else. And she would have been okay with it, et cetera. I wouldn't have broken my word. But the point is, does everyone have a price in their mind that I could get to? And that's all we're trying to do is actually fish that out and go, what is that crazy price? Well, if I know that Luigi's crazy price is $600,000, I'm just going to grab that arbitrarily. And the CMA that I did came in at $500,000. Well, I now have him teed up and like I can look at it and I've got in my notes where I can go, oh man, we just had a 10% appreciation, or say he's at 550 and he said 600, which where is that crazy price? We're at 550. Shit, man, if all of a sudden in the next year prices go up 5% or 3% in that market, we're a little bit closer. I can call him and go, hey, Luigi, that's a future business. I just loaded the cannon. Make sense, guys? And now I've got all this future business. It'll work out. The numbers work out. 6.5 to 1 equals an appointment for you guys. 6.5 to 1 will get you an appointment. Some of those appointments will be people that are like ready to list and sell right now. Some of those will be people that are thinking about it in the future. And some of those will be individuals of your past clients that just want to actually discuss it and have you look at the house. Either way, it's always a win because you just got the chance to provide more value. What does EXP do? Provides more value. What should you do? Model what EXP is doing with you as their clients and partners with your clients as well too. So guys, I know I went over. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys did some good stuff.